Ladies and gentlemen, manene nani manenekazi wonke umuntu olapha kwi-community of the Great Western Cape. Thank you for choosing Cape Town TV as your source of information and education. We are in conversation about Go Open Studio with Kayla Willams, who is representing the Saartjie Baartman Women and Children Centre. We're going to find out what this is all about and why it's important for us to have institutions like those so that people that are affected by izindo that are concerning the community are reachable. They are there for access your help, whether it's mental or physical. Nabantu abadibana ne-abuses that are very different. My name is Lama Lee Moon. I'll be with you right through to 5:30. But you know, Kaselapago Open Studio, no one man can handle the show. You need somebody to sit next to you so that you can have that conversation and bring out the story, which is rich with happiness. Sometimes it's sad, but siyafuna uzkupa some positives because people are here to help each other. It takes a village to raise a child, and it takes the whole community to build a nation, which is what you are currently doing on a daily when it comes to the Saartjie Baartman Centre for Women and Children. Kayla, welcome to the show, and thank you for finding time in your busy schedule to be with us.
Thank you for having us.
The Saartjie Baartman Centre for Women and Children opened its doors in 1999. What prompted that decision in Manenberg?
Okay, so as you know, Saartjie Baartman Centre is a centre for abused women and children,
Yeah.
and they provide a place of safety. So with that itself, it speaks volume because the amount of gender-based violence or abuse against our women and our children, there was a rise in those numbers, and that is why the need to open a centre like this, you know, it came about, and you know, everything just happened, and the center was there, you know, to be like a bridge between, you know, the less empowered, you know, to a more safe and secure environment. So we're basically like a bridge for our women and children out there.
You could have been so much more, not in a sense that this is less, in a sense that you could have done different things with your life. You could have been a teacher. You've got such a beautiful face. You could have been a model. But you chose social work as your career. What resonated in what was happening in the community to you? What spoke to you that made you decide, you know what, I'm going to be a social worker so that I make day-to-day easier for the people that I see on the street and stuff like that?
So firstly, I am from Manenberg,
Yeah.
and that speaks for itself. So when you hear Manenberg, when you hear Piece of Flavors, Hanover Park, you think about gang violence, you think about poverty and all those social ills in our community. And the very thing that motivated me to become a social worker and to help our people in our communities is the mere fact that our families, my family, you know, they've been through poverty. They are still in poverty, you know. They are still in abusive relationships. And that is why I felt motivated and driven to become a social worker, to assist not only my family, but their friends, their families. So that motivated me to step in and help.
On a daily, you step in and help, and the stories that you hear every day are not just soap operas. It's real life, and it's very hard. You see people with tears in their eyes. You see somebody who's swollen with a blue eye, and they're afraid to go back home. That surely touches your heart. Now, you touch their lives in a positive manner. Who touches yours? Who makes it easy for you to go to bed so that you have a peaceful night? And who's that person who encourages you to go on and do it again for the people?
So I have so many role models that I look up to. I have so many support. When you think about Saartjie Baartman Centre, there is a hell of a team behind the name Saartjie Baartman Centre. We have a team of social workers, and we have supervisors and managers, and they are there to debrief us, to take us through everything. Even with this interview, you know, they are all behind me being here. So it's not only me, but it's the whole of the whole staff of Saartjie that's behind me. So they are supporting me, they are encouraging me, and they are motivating me, and they send us for, for therapeutic, groups, like just to relax ourselves, and just to take care of ourselves, because sometimes we give so much of ourselves that we lose ourselves in
Yeah.
the process. And then I also have family. I have a husband, I have a mother and a father that is always there, and I have a connection with my higher power. That for me is significant in my life and very, very important.
If it wasn't for the problems that we face in the community, um, I highly doubt that you and I would be sitting here having this conversation. I doubt that the Saartjie Baartman Centre would be in existence.
Yes.
It's in existence because of the ills of the community, and some of the perpetrators, if not most of them, and if not all of them, are the people that we live with, are the fathers to these people, are the brothers to these people. Um, when you listen to the stories, when you hear somebody who's a victim and say, so and so did this to me, what do you think is the root problem? Why are these people doing such to the victims?
I think it starts with, the young, being young, growing up. Where do you grow up? What are you exposed to? The environments. Environment are you exposed to? So sometimes they say that, our men, that is the perpetrators, their fathers abuse them. Sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes it's not the case. There are so many reasons why our males, exercise their power, and they control in an unhealthy way. There's so many reasons for that, but I always say that it starts at the younger age,
Yeah.
where we that have the information, that is empowered, we need to give back to those younger children, to empower them, to show them what is respect, how to treat our women with respect and dignity. So it starts from a very young age. So I can't really say why our men do this, but sometimes it's because they are exposed to unhealthy situations in their homes, in their communities, especially on our Cape Flats.
Now, if you're looking for help and if you think you could be of help with Abantu that are facing these kind of problems, you are tuning into the right program at the right time. We're going to take a quick ad break. When we return, there's more with Kayla Willams, who's representing the Saartjie Baartman Center for Women and Children. This is Open Studio. You can follow us on Facebook and go Open Studio, or dial us on 021 My name is Lamali Moon. I'm holding the fort till 5:30 this evening. Welcome to it, ladies and gentlemen. This is Cape Town TV, the People's Channel. We couldn't be and wouldn't be the People's Channel if we are not the voice of the community. And somebody who's representing the community as a Manenberg right now, Kayla Willams, she's part of something that is so huge, so important, so necessary, Gwenzele, that the women and the children that are faced with gender-based violence and other issues that they cannot fend themselves to see the light, they're there to hold their hands, to you like doctors. If a bed has a broken wing, you're there to stitch it, and you're the healers of the community. What I understand about the Saartjie Baartman Center for Women and Children, you've got a short-term and medium-term residential place where the women and children can run to.
Mm. Okay, so we have a short term, as you said. So the short term basically refer to our 4 month program. So a woman that is admitted into the shelter, they stay for 4 months, where they attend the individual counseling, they attend the group work, just to assist and help them. When they step out of the Saartjie Baartman Center, they are functional enough, to stand on their own feet, and they are empowered. And then we also have a medium term residential program. We call that our second stage housing opportunity. So our clients, that is in the 4 month period, when they are closing, when they are nearing to the end of their stay, they can then apply for the second stage opportunity, and that is for a period of 6 months. So that is the short and the medium term. Um, when they are in the shelter, obviously there's not enough space in the second stage housing. The social workers try their best to find a safe, secured environment when the client have to leave. So yeah, that is our short and our medium term residential care.
Patriarchy is such a disease, like I can't fathom why it exists. It's like it's a man's world, and the men are there's so much that the men get away with, so much so that we've got a center that is in existence that houses the women and children, of which it's the people that did nothing, but they are displaced from their homes to go and seek shelter someplace else. Why are we then not removing the perpetrator from the home? We're finding centers for them so that they get rehabilitated because they're the ones who need to be displaced.
I totally agree with you. And unfortunately, there's only so much that we can do. Our males are seen as the dominant, and to try and remove them from the homes. I think many women have tried, have applied for protection orders, to remove them out of the house, etc., etc. And you just find that the male is still there. However, there is programs, there is help for our males out there, there is support groups, but there's not enough, to help our males. So, yeah, to remove the males out of these homes, it will be, it's a challenge on it, it's a challenge, and obviously our women can't remove our males because they already feel powerless against them.
Now, I love that there are some institutions that are there to assist the males, but we'll be fooling ourselves if we believed that it's only the women that fall victim with gender-based violence. There are other women that are
Definitely.
perpetrators. Is there assistance for such?
Definitely,
Mm.
and we've seen that, and I do a education and awareness program at our schools in Manenberg, and some one learner said that, teacher, but miss, it's not only we that abuse the women, but they abuse us. They slap me during interval. So what do I do? So I told him that you need to report it. Do not feel afraid, because sometimes our males have that, that pride. No, I'm a man. What will people say if I go to the police station to report that my wife beat me? Do you understand? So our males, I actually want to encourage, our men out there. If you are being abused, step out for help. Even if you speak to a friend, to your supervisor at work, just that emotional support, would be a great help, by just keeping everything to yourself and just cropping it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yes, there is help for them there outside.
I'm hoping that there are life skills that the women and children gain when they seek shelter with you guys, because some of them might be too afraid to go back home and face the same monster that they did. Now, what happens to a person who no longer wants to go back from where they ran from, but they seek to find another place to live because they don't want to be with him at all?
Just repeat that again.
So, is there a situation where we give the women and the children life skills so that they are not forced to go back to where they ran away from
Okay.
because they might not be interested in going back home?
Okay. So you're asking that, is there skills available for the women to make them
So that they are able to stand
to
up for themselves,
on their own?
yeah, on
Yes,
their own, so
definitely.
that they are not dependent on the
Yes.
same person who did
Okay,
this to
so
them.
definitely there is. So like I said, for the emotional needs, there is individual counseling for our women. We also run groups for our women, support groups to empower them, to help them throughout this process, knowing that there's more females in this room that is going through the same thing like I'm going through. And then we also have various programs at our center, to help empower them. So at our center, while they're in the residential period, they are equipped with computer skills. They are equipped with first aid classes, there's your ABET classes, and then there's also the home based nursing. So they are equipped when they leave. So they actually have something on their CV to say that I've been in this training. And there's also the Dress for Success at our center. So they help our women, when they have an interview lined up. So they help prepare our women with interview questions that they might ask you. They give them a suit to wear or a jacket to wear or shoes to wear if they don't have proper clothing. So there is quite a few services at our center just to help them when they go out the center, they feel empowered and they have something to fall back on.
Kayla from Meinenberg, ladies and gentlemen, she's going to be with us on the flip side of this. Do you have any positive stories that you want to share with us right here on Open Studio? We'll give you those details when we return after this quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. The Saartjie Baartman Centre for Women and Children was first established in 1999. It's 2021 right now. What have they done since then? Do they have success stories? The former victims, today we call them survivors, they've walked through the doors, bangena kwi Saartjie Baartman, and when they got out, they were empowered. So Kayla Willams is here to tell us stories. Is Njalo. This is Open Studio. We are in conversation with Kayla Willams from the Saartjie Baartman Center for Women and Children. Email us, Junaid at openstudio.org or Sisanda at capetowntv.org. We're also available on Facebook and go Open Studio. That number to dial 021 448 0448. If you just joined us, you are tuning in to the last segment of the show, but never fear, when Lama is near, I've got good news. Tomorrow morning at 9:30, we bring you the repeat. Kayla, we did research gender-based violence. What were some of your findings?
So, as Saartjie Baartman Centre, we need to do constant research.
Mm.
And, as service providers, we need to do research in our communities to find out what is the need of our communities and then to evaluate our services. Are we providing the proper services?
Yeah.
Where's the gap? So we need to do constant research. And what we have discovered, or not discovered, but what we found is that our victims that are victims of crime and violence, they are becoming younger. So it's not only married women that has been married for 30 years, but it's 18-year-old, 19-year-old. So
Yeah.
our victims are becoming younger and younger by the day. That is what we've discovered over the years now and very recent.
Somebody is hurtful and they want to see this person behind bars. Are you there for them? Are you able to give them legal advice? What narrates that? Or what leads the way? Are you able to assist people that are seeking legal advice and
Yes.
legal issues that they want to tackle?
Yes, definitely. So on our center, we have legal services and we have a paralegal. She assists our women with divorce orders,
Mm.
maintenance orders, and just any legal advice that they need. Most importantly, protection orders.
Mm.
Now, during lockdown last year, we received a lot of women, that wanted to apply, for divorce orders, maintenance orders, protection orders. So she provides them with legal advice, not only to make the application, but just to, take them through the process, just make them comfortable and just to support them throughout the process. And,
Yeah.
and of course, you have the social workers that work hand in hand with the paralegal just to assist the client if the client have a emotional outburst or is going through a episode, and then the social workers is there to assist as well.
Some of the victims find it very hard to let go of the perpetrator because they believe that they're in love, they really depend on them, they don't see life without them. We got married till death do us apart. This was a mistake, he's going to change. Now, when you let somebody go back home, are you then keeping in touch with them to assess the situation? Are you still good? Is everything okay at home?
Yes. So our residential social worker, we have aftercare services. So our residential social worker would follow up with the client. So before they leave, before the exit date, say for example, my exit date is today. So within this week or before she leaves, we do the necessary to call and all of that stuff, and we make sure that they're going into a safe environment. And when they leave, of course, we need contact details, address, etc. and etc. We give them a list of resources as well as Saartjie Baartman's number. So when they change the address, they know where Saartjie Baartman is and they have the number.
Kayla, let's forget about COVID-19 right now. There's this pandemic, gender-based violence, and I can imagine that it can get too much for you guys to handle. Now, is there a call out for people that get touched by stories like this and they want to lend a helping hand? Can somebody volunteer? And if that's the case, who are you looking for? When you're screening somebody, what qualities should they have?
Okay. So on our website, we have our volunteering um, applications where they can fill in. So we definitely looking for volunteers with driver's license, because there's always a need to transport a client to the day hospital. Even though there is drivers, there is social auxiliary workers, but anything can happen. There's always an emergency. So definitely someone with driver's license that has experience, with working with victims of crime and violence, or even anyone that can help, even with a packet of sugar or a maize meal, anything.
Yeah, how do they get hold of you?
Okay, so they can get hold on our social media platforms. There's Facebook, and then there's Instagram, and also on our website, all our information is there. On Facebook, there's also SnapScan, how they can donate money, etc. and etc.
So what's the website and what's the
Just
Facebook name?
Saartjie Baartman Centre. Saartjie Baartman Centre. On Instagram, Saartjie Baart. If you put in the search box Saartjie Baartman Centre, you will get to the.
You also have a 24-hour service?
Yes, yes. We also have a 24-hour service, so that would normally work via the police. So if the client goes to the police at night at 8 o'clock, obviously the social workers is there till 4:30, and that is where our relief workers step in. So our relief workers is there. When we leave, our relief workers is there.
Okay.
So the police will then escort that client that comes in the office at 8 o'clock. They would escort the client to the center when they need a place of safety after hours.
Thank you so much, Kayla, for coming through, and thank you so much for making South Africa a little bit of indawo yohlala, so that when you wake up in the morning, you know where to run to should you need help. You are based in Manenberg. Are there other centers around Cape Town?
No, we are the only center in South Africa.
You're doing a very good job, and thank you for looking out for the community.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having Saartjie Baartman on your show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kayla Willams doing very big things for the community as well as Cape Town TV. We'll see you tomorrow between 5 and 5:30. Catch this very episode tomorrow morning between 9 and 9:30. It has been great keeping you company and bringing you information that you need the most. It's time for us to bounce out of here. Good night. Be kind to one another and keep on watching Cape Town Television. God bless and good night.